I've been told I don't do enough films of unboxing when I get various parts and things sent to me. Um, Today, two things have arrived, neither of which are actually in boxes, but we have here the high tensile steel that I'm going to use to make the pins at the back of the car. I'll just chop off probably 6-inch lengths of this, can chuck that up in the lathe and machine this down to what it needs to be. And the second one was this package, which has arrived from the Riley Register Spares in the UK. Obviously it's not a box, it's a bag. Don't know if you can see the price on there. This is £300, I think it is. I think it was about 700 and something New Zealand dollars by the time it got here. So I'll use this very blunt blade. Let's see if we can get into this. Without cutting myself. That blade's terrible. But I think this is, I don't know what these bags are. They seem very common in the UK. Cutting them open is always a pain because they're full of this, I guess it's recycled cardboard. It's almost like insulation stuff, and it's horrible. It goes everywhere. It's probably a special way you're supposed to open these, but that'll be the receipt which I need to add to my giant spreadsheet of car costs. And let's see. This this is from James at the Spares. This would be almost impossible for me to get some other way. The only way you can get these is secondhand. So the fact that he had one and he was able to sell that to me is just amazing. So this is one of the parts I was missing on the brake mechanism. You can see here on the handbrake, it's got a similar one. It's for the adjusters, so you can adjust the brakes from inside the car. There's one for the handbrake, and you can see this one here is for the foot brake. They're just a sort of tap fit onto the end of the shaft. The shaft's actually outside. I had them soaking in degreaser overnight, and I took them out this morning and washed all the degreaser off, and they're sitting in the sun drying at the moment, rusting probably. The rest of this is the little kits that I need to rebuild the rod ends. So let's see, there are 4 of these, and then this one is the one that goes on the end of the drag link. I don't have the drag link yet, it's still in the UK, but hopefully eventually that'll be on its way. So that now allows me, just checking all the little nuts and bolts are in there. These are the new pushers. Oops, and the pins. They fit there like that. And then, let's see, there's a little, oh yeah, that's the special sort of flat spring that goes on the end. This is the little cup that it's a bit tricky. This piece fits down inside there, and then that spring goes on the top, and then there's the metal cover that goes over the top, which I've got, which is there on the original ones, and there's sort of a rubber boot thing that goes over them as well. These are the little spring clips that keep that little top cover in place. So it even comes with the split pins. So that's good. That means I can now rebuild these rod ends here. So I just need to push those bushes into there, making sure I get them up the right way, because as you can see, these are angled. So they do fit round a particular way, which I need to make sure I get correct. And then I can actually put that onto the car and get the two ends of my steering connected, which would be really good. There was one other part I was hoping would be here, but obviously they didn't have it, which is I need the nuts that go on here. This is an odd thread. It didn't seem to be a BSF thread, so I'm not sure exactly what it is. But there's two nuts that go on there, which I'm either going to have to make or get from somewhere. But now that I have this high tensile bar, actually I think let's see, I had some more high tensile bar which I've been using for studs, which is this stuff. And I think I'd worked out this was just a little bit too small diameter to make the nuts that go on there. But now that I have this, I can actually make up whatever the nuts are that need to be on there. I'll have to check out what the pitch of this thread is and then set the lathe up to be able to machine that. But that should be doable now. So I can make up what I need there. And I think that was it. So again, this gives you some idea how expensive it is to build these cars. So this stuff here, this was 700 odd New Zealand dollars. But you kind of have to spend that amount of money. You can reuse the old ones, the second-hand ones of these, but all this stuff is 90 years old. And every single one of these little ball joints is going to add play into your steering. So a lot of people often complain that the steering or the brakes or things like that on these vintage cars, these pre-war cars, is old and crappy. And it's because the cars are old and crappy and they're worn out. So if you restore the car and you put back in all that old stuff, it's still going to be worn out. It'll just look pretty. Which is why if you're rebuilding it, you might as well rebuild it properly and replace all of this stuff. So they probably would have been okay to reuse, but with the new ones, there's not going to be any play in them, and they're just going to last probably the rest of the life of the car. So that's good. That's suddenly given me a whole lot more jobs to do. I have to finish cleaning all the brake mechanism up. I need to start machining things out of my steel bar here. I can assemble these rod ends. That probably won't take too long to do. And I need to see if I can go and visit the plasma cutting people to get these plates made. So I may go and do that now. So this evening I've been doing a few little bits and pieces. I started cleaning up the handbrake mechanism. I'd taken it all apart last night and soaked it in some degreaser, and I've slowly been going through this was my container I rinsed everything off in, and I've been going through this, just cleaning up bits and pieces. So I have two of these assemblies. There should be enough bits there to make one good one. These were the little plates that I need to remake. They seem to be brass. They're about 4mm thick, but this hole isn't correct. It's a bit hard to see with it all in bits, but that hole is supposed to fit over the end of that shaft, but it's way too big. So I'll have to remake these, or I'll get these plasma cut maybe. These little pulleys, some of these are damaged. I should have a full set. I think there are two big ones and two small ones that go on there, and I've cleaned up a nice set of those. I've actually got extra ones. They're sitting in the little ultrasonic cleaner at the moment. This is the little foot brake knob that I got from James. I'm really thankful for that. That's just otherwise impossible to get. It's cleaned up fairly well. There's a little screw in the end that's soaking in mouse milk at the moment, because this is the shaft it fits on. You can see it's it's got a flat on one side which matches the flat on there, and then the little lock screw fits into that little dimple, so that'll fit on there. I've just got this soaking in penetrant because I don't want to ruin that screw trying to get it out, but it's bound to be fairly stuck in there. The two brake assemblies I had were slightly different, so I do have to try and figure out exactly what's correct for my car. I think I know, but I'll have to check that. I'll just have to assemble it and see how it all fits together when the time comes. I also I cut down 2 pieces of this high tensile steel to make the pins at the back. I should really have started cutting the bar from the other end, so I left a label on it, but that's okay. It is going to be a bit of a mission on my little tiny lathe, because even though you can put this in the chuck, you can see there's not a lot holding it there. So I was able to face the ends enough to center drill them so I can get the center in there to hold it all steady. And it should be okay from this point on. So I need to machine down a section of this to be the diameter of the shackle, which is going to take me a while because you can only take very light cuts on a little lathe like this. And then once I've turned that down, I'll be able to turn it around and put it through the chuck and turn down the critical diameter to go into the tube at the back of the chassis, which will be on this end. I may end up swapping over to the 4-jaw chuck that I have. I'd completely forgotten I had this actually, because it has got a little bit of extra depth on the jaws there, but not much, so I'm not sure if I'll use that or not. The other job I did was I assembled the tie rod ends. So those are now back on there. To push the little bushes in, the new bushes, I heated the ends up in the oven and I put the bushes in the freezer just to shrink them and to expand the housing, and then it was pretty easy to push them through just using the vise. I think that's where that rubber bush washer thing goes. These didn't really come with instructions, but that seems to make sense, that would go on there, something like that. So now I actually have steering that works in unison. So you can see if I move that, the steering works, which is good. So these are now no longer flopping around for me to walk into. Now they're more solid for me to walk into, I guess. These new, whatever they're called, plier vices, plier grips, are really useful. So because they're a smooth jaw, it makes it really easy to clamp things like that, where that screws onto the end, and use these to just tighten it up. These new bushes don't come drilled for the little lock spring, so you have to do them up tight and then drill the hole through. So I assembled it all, drilled just enough to put a little pilot hole without going all the way through, and then I took it apart and drilled it all the way through because I didn't want little bits of swarf in there, and then reassembled them. When you reassemble them, don't forget to put the springs in. You probably shouldn't ask how I know that, but that's all in there now, and that seems to work. So front suspension, all I'm missing now is the what they call the tiller bar, which is the bar that goes from here down to the steering arm. I'm not sure what angle this needs to be at. I'm assuming once I get that tiller bar, that'll all become apparent, but that's the bar that takes the motion from when you turn the steering wheel and sends it forwards to this arm, which moves the wheels. So that should be on its way soon. And the other thing I'm puzzling about a bit is this is the rod for adjusting the foot brake. And you can see it's threaded and there's this little collar on there. And I'm assuming that should turn, but it doesn't. You can see it wiggles. It actually wiggles quite a bit. It almost feels like it's pinned through the middle somehow. But I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to be. The parts book makes it really hard to see, but there is a little hole there. So I'm assuming this is actually pinned, which is why it won't turn at all, even though there's plenty of motion in there. It's interesting it's not all the way down the thread. I don't know if they set this at the factory or how that works, but I'm going to assume that is how it's supposed to be, because that definitely doesn't come out of there, even though it's quite loose. The fact that it's loose might be a worry. If it's meant to be pinned and held on there, I may need to put some Loctite. I've got wicking grade Loctite, which is this stuff, which you can use after the fact. You put that on the threads and it'll suck its way in. So if this is supposed to be pinned, I will put a few drops of that in there. It was kind of the same as when you do up these tie rod ends. You can probably see it there. I've got copper grease on everything. My rule is more or less, if it needs to come apart in the future, put copper grease on it. If it doesn't, put Loctite on it. So, for example, these are the little oilers. The little grease nipples are Loctited in because you don't want those to come undone. Whereas the tie rod, you want this to be free so you can rotate it to set the toe in and out, which the copper grease means it's not going to all seize up or rust up in there. So that's a little bit of progress for the night.